Hi everyone, welcome to a June 2024 update on tinnitus and hearing health breakthroughs and news. This month we have some exciting advancements and research findings that promise new hope for those who suffer from tinnitus and hearing loss. From innovative devices to groundbreaking gene therapy. Stay tuned as we dive into these fascinating topics, bringing you the latest news and development in the world of hearing health. The Neosensory Clarify Wristband, a device that has been making waves in the hearing health community. Originally launched in August 2022, the Clarify Wristband is gaining renewed recognition in 2024 for its innovative approach to improving speech comprehension and managing tinnitus. The Neosensory Clarify is a wrist-worn device designed to help individuals with high-frequency hearing loss understand speech more clearly. Unlike traditional hearing aids that amplify sound, the Clarify wristband uses vibration feedback to convey high-frequency sounds that are often difficult for those with hearing loss to hear. Vibration feedback. The wristband detects high-frequency sounds and translates them into specific vibration patterns on the wrist. This process, known as sensory substitution, allows the brain to interpret these tactile signals as speech sounds over time. Brain adaptation. With regular use, typically within 3 weeks, users report significant improvements in their ability to understand speech. Compatibility. The device can be used alone or in conjunction with hearing aids, making it versatile for different levels of hearing impairment. Speech comprehension. The primary function of the Clarify wristband is to improve speech comprehension by providing tactile feedback for high-frequency sounds. Tinnitus management. The device also offers a bimodal stimulation program for tinnitus relief. By combining sound with gentle vibrations, users can experience a reduction in tinnitus severity. Clinical trials have shown that 87% of users report significant improvements in their tinnitus symptoms after 8 weeks of use. Sound awareness. The wristband helps users become more aware of environmental sounds such as doorbells and alarms, providing an added layer of safety and convenience. The Neosensory Clarify has received positive reviews from both users and professionals. According to a recent review on Rolling Stone, users appreciate the device's ability to significantly improve speech comprehension and provide relief from tinnitus. The review highlights that the wristband is easy to use and integrates seamlessly into daily life, offering a non-invasive and cost-effective alternative to traditional hearing aids. In 2024, the Clarify wristband was chosen as Wearable Technologies Innovation of the Month, further solidifying its reputation as a valuable tool for those with hearing loss and tinnitus. If you find these kind of videos helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and coming back for more videos. This really supports the channel and helps me bring to you more reviews, more educational videos, more tinnitus management videos, and whatever I can to help you with your hearing challenges. Heavy drinking can severely impact hearing, leading to both short-term and long-term effects. Alcohol damages the auditory cortex and nerve cells in the brain, slowing sound processing and making it hard to understand speech, especially in noisy environments. A study from the University of Ulm highlighted these findings, showing that long-term heavy drinking can increase the time it takes to process sound. Research in London has identified a condition known as cocktail deafness, where alcohol use disorder impairs the ability to understand lower frequency sounds. Although hearing often returns to normal after stopping drinking, frequent episodes of alcohol-induced hearing loss may lead to permanent damage over time. Alcohol affects the inner ear by altering the volume and composition of its fluid, which can cause dizziness, imbalance, and vertigo. This phenomenon, known as the spins, occurs because the inner ear, which monitors balance, absorbs alcohol and retains it longer than the blood or brain. This can lead to spatial disorientation and balance problems, even after the initial effects of alcohol have worn off. Excessive drinking can also lead to tinnitus or ringing in the ears due to alcohol-induced swelling of blood vessels in the inner ear. This increased blood flow can cause temporary tinnitus, which, while not life-threatening, can be extremely annoying. Repeated heavy drinking episodes can potentially exacerbate tinnitus and make it a more persistent issue. Moderating alcohol intake can significantly improve overall health and help preserve hearing. Those looking to reduce their drinking can find various treatment options through the National Institutes of Health, which offers more than just traditional AA meetings or inpatient rehab programs. In a pioneering clinical trial, researchers have successfully restored hearing and speech in children with inherited deafness by administering gene therapy to both ears. This groundbreaking study, conducted by Mass Eye and Ear and the Eye and ENT Hospital of Fudan University in Shanghai, marks the first global trial to use bilateral gene therapy for hereditary deafness. The trial involved 5 children with a genetic form of deafness. The therapy led to significant improvements in hearing, speech perception, sound localization, and even the ability to appreciate music for 2 of the participants. This research builds on earlier successes where children treated in one ear showed notable hearing improvements. The study's findings were published in Nature Medicine on June 5, 2024. Researchers used functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, to observe brain activity related to emotional processing. Participants included children with mild to moderate hearing loss and tinnitus, those with hearing loss without tinnitus, and a control group with normal hearing. They listened to various sounds while their brain activity was monitored. Results showed that children with tinnitus had different emotional processing patterns, with reduced activity in the amygdala but increased activity in the parahippocampus and insula. The gene therapy involved injecting functioning copies of the OTEOF gene carried by adeno-associated virus, AAV, into the inner ears of the children through minimally invasive surgery. All 5 children experienced hearing recovery, improved speech perception, and enhanced sound localization. The trial, which began in July 2023, reported no serious adverse events. This study suggests that treating both ears can maximize hearing restoration benefits, supporting the potential for wider applications of this therapy. With over 430 million people globally affected by disabling hearing loss, and genetic factors accounting for up to 60% of childhood deafness, this approach could revolutionize treatment for various forms of hearing loss, both genetic and non-genetic. Researchers aim to expand the trial internationally and explore the therapy's effectiveness for other types of deafness. The study's success underscores the potential of gene therapy as a viable treatment for hereditary deafness, highlighting the importance of continued research and larger clinical trials. Recent research sheds light on how tinnitus, the condition of persistent ringing in the ears, alters the way emotions are processed in the brain. This fascinating study, led by a University of Illinois professor Fatima Hussein, was published in the journal Brain Research and offers new insights into the neurological impacts of tinnitus. Tinnitus affects about 50 million people in the United States, according to the American Tinnitus Association. Sufferers hear phantom noises like whooshing, train whistles, or high-pitched whines that can vary in intensity. These persistent sounds are not just an annoyance, they are linked to increased stress, anxiety, irritability, and depression, impacting the brain's emotional processing systems. Professor Hussein's team employed functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, to explore how tinnitus affects emotional processing. The study involved 3 groups: individuals with mild to moderate hearing loss and tinnitus, those with hearing loss but no tinnitus, and a control group with no hearing loss or tinnitus. Participants listened to a series of 30 pleasant, 30 unpleasant, and 30 neutral sounds, such as a baby laughing, a woman screaming, and a water bottle opening, and categorized each sound while the brain activity was monitored, and the results were intriguing. Both the tinnitus group and the normal hearing group responded more quickly to emotional sounds than to neutral ones, while those with hearing loss responded similarly to all sounds. Overall, the tinnitus group had slower reaction times compared to the normal hearing group. Brain scans revealed reduced activity in the amygdala, a region associated with emotional processing, in both tinnitus and hearing loss patients compared to those with normal hearing. However, tinnitus patients showed increased activity in the parahippocampus and insula, other brain regions tied to emotion. These findings suggest that the brain of someone with tinnitus adapts by reducing activity in the amygdala, likely due to the constant barrage of unpleasant sounds, and reroutes this activity to other areas. This neural plasticity allows patients to manage the persistent noise, which could explain why they experience less amygdala activation in response to emotional sounds. Given the widespread prevalence of tinnitus, including among many combat veterans, these findings have significant implications for improving treatment and quality of life. Hussein hopes that this research will inform better clinical practices, helping audiologists and clinicians address both the emotional and communicative aspects of tinnitus. As Hussein notes, we want to know how we can get better in the clinical realm. Audiologists and clinicians are aware that tinnitus affects emotional aspects too, and we want to make them aware that these effects are occurring so they can better help their patients. I really hope that you guys found this video useful and helpful to you. Please, again, use the comments below to share your story, ask questions, and if we help each other, we feel better ourselves and we help other people. So comments below, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.